All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the Red Pill Investor podcast, as well as live here on YouTube at Sell More Homes Now. Today, we are going to have a great prospecting time. Hopefully, you're able to go ahead and join us live every day. And I apologize for being a little bit late today. I tell you, though, we have got a lot of really good news, a lot of good stuff we're going to cover. Make sure that you try and tune in as long as you can, because all this information is going to be critical to your business, regardless if you're a real estate investor or if you are a realtor here in the business. You're definitely going to want to keep track of what's going on here. So what we're going to cover today, a couple different things. First, there's a real estate startup called Zero Down in San Francisco that will help you buy a house with no down payment. Wow. Yes, you could buy a house in San Francisco for zero down payment. That is unbelievable. Another story we're going to cover today is how selling your home to an iBuyer, maybe those places like OfferPad or let's see, what's the other one? Open Door. Open Door is another one. If you've got those people in your marketplace, undoubtedly you've got people who are considering selling to them, and why you need to use this information I'm about to share with you today as to why that could cost them thousands of dollars, and you can save your clients and customers a lot of money and help them either sell it to you directly or list with you as a realtor. The next thing we're going to cover today, obviously, is a stock analyst, John Campbell from Steven Stock. He is saying that the real estate is at, quote, the tipping point, and he has really changed his ratings on a couple different stocks, and he's going to explain to us why. And then finally, we're going to cover a really interesting fellow by the name of Chad Thorstensen. He is apparently a former emergency room doctor, and he's got some very interesting things to say about realtors and the way that the business needs to change. So we're going to cover his thoughts on the business, and we'll see what his thoughts might be, because I think realistically, that's thoughts that are held by many people, and those are things that you need to know. So let's go ahead and take this to the Lord in prayer before we go ahead and press the start button. Again, if you're joining us for the very first time, what you'll hear after we get started is the phone just go ahead and go off. You'll hear me go ahead and pick up, and then we'll go ahead and start talking. So hopefully that'll work out for everybody. So let's go ahead and take this to the Lord in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for this day. We appreciate all the good things that you've given to us. Lord, I just hope that you'd bless the work of our hands, that it would be for your glory, not for anybody else's. Lord, that you'd use me as an instrument, Lord, for your glory, for your works. Lord, I'd ask that you'd bless the people who listen to this, that they might hear something that I say that would help them, that would bless them in their business, that they could help someone in their community. Maybe some of the information that we share, help us to enjoy each other, and help us all use it to the glory of Jesus, your name. Amen. All right, so let's get started. All right, and we're going to go ahead and press start. Here we go. All right, so we got so much good news, to cover. I can't even begin to say where we should begin to start with the news. As always, we are calling expired and canceled listings first. You hear me say it every day because they are the people who are going to do something quickest. So I typically call them first. Typically, what you want to do is call the new expireds and the new canceleds first, the ones that just came on the market. I should say that just canceled. And then you want to go ahead and call the older expireds and the older canceleds after that. So what we're doing right now is we're using the Red X dialer. You know that I use this dialer. It is, I'm an affiliate of theirs, I'll be very honest with you, because they're a great company. I've used them for quite some time. They provide some of the most accurate information. Now, you will hear me on the podcast here as well as on YouTube getting many wrong numbers. Many times that is because I'm telling the dialer to look 4 numbers deep, meaning that they have the most likely number, right? So let's say number A is the first number that they have on the list, and they think that's probably the best number for this person. Then they have, number B and C and maybe even D. And so in this particular circumstance, they might even have four numbers for this particular person, but the last one, maybe that's such a close, maybe it might be good at, who knows, it's kind of an older number, right? And so what happens then, I tell the computer to call all the numbers, not just the best one, not just the number one number, right? But all the numbers. And that's why many times you'll hear me come up with some numbers that aren't really the right person, or they might have owned it a couple years ago, or something along those lines. It's not to indicate that RedX's data is wrong. No, it's actually hyper accurate. And that's why it's a little bit more pricey, I think, than everybody else. Not overly so. It's not outrageously expensive, but it certainly is a good, source of data. And that's why you'll find sometimes some of that data that you get will be from people who own the property from a couple of years ago. If you are interested in this, they have, as you'll see me call through here, they've got for rent by owners, for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures. They've got, let's see, cancels and expireds, obviously. Another thing they have is a system that's called the GeoLeads. And GeoLeads is really very interesting because what you can do is get down to the wire. I've been on other dialers. I'm not really going to throw out names or anything like that, but there's another dialer out there that provides a service where you can do like a just listed, just sold type of search. But it's not as accurate as this one. This one is hyper accurate in the sense that you can go ahead and just draw out to exactly where you want it to be. There's a lot of other factors that you can use. We'll call some of those a little bit later so you can see, and then perhaps maybe another day I'll make a YouTube video of it so you can actually see what we were talking about there. Let's see here. I'm not sure why that fellow got called. That's odd. Let's see here. I don't want to call him. Let's see here. Resume and hang up. All right. Call. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, for whatever reason, the phone right there had picked up and called a fellow that I had set appointment with yesterday. So a lot of time,
call has been forwarded to an automated
so
voice
a situation like that,
system,
where it's saying, give me a voicemail or whatever. The good thing about the storm dialer that the RedX provides. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I was actually looking for the owners of a property on La Cienega. Is that your property?
No, we sold that property.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Was it just recently that you sold it? Or was this
Yes, last summer.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, well, great. Well, congratulations. Listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anyone who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
Oh, no, I don't.
No problem. It is kind of an odd question. No worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Sold. All right. Boom. Okay. Yeah. The thing I really like about Storm Dialer, for example, is when,
0,
like
4,
in this situation,
6, 5,
somebody's
6,
asking for a voicemail. You just press a simple button and a voicemail is left. And you get a couple different choices of voicemails that you can leave. The voicemail that I always leave is, and this is the voicemail that I always recommend that you leave. If you ever choose to leave a voicemail, I certainly don't recommend you leave a voicemail while you're prospecting on the phone with your actual voice. Right. I mean, I think, by the time you let the phone ring and ring and ring, it's going to ring 4, 5, 6 times before it actually gets to the voicemail. And then when it does get to the voicemail, you got to listen to the whole voicemail. And then you got to leave a message. And the problem many times when you do this is that you tend to leave a message, and they can read it on their voicemail or whatnot, and they'll just delete it. And it takes far too long for you to leave a message than it does for you to, let's say, hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
All right.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. Are you the owners of the home over there on Geronimo Avenue? I apologize. What was that?
Yeah?
Is that your property, did you say?
No.
Oh, okay. I apologize. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that number right there was a wrong number. And she was area code 909, wherever that is. I'm not even familiar. I think that's California. So in any event,
Right, I can help you.
oh, you know what? I think I might have the wrong number. I'm looking for, my name's Carl. I was actually looking for the owner of a home on Geronimo Avenue in Tucson. Is that your home?
No, you're calling. No, that's not us. You're calling Summers Brothers. It's a company.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, brother. Have a great day.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You
Yes, sir. Okay. Wrong number. Remove the number. Count it. No. Okay. So if you're going to leave a message, I don't recommend you do, but unless, of course, you have an automatic type of situation. You do, what you want to do is just say, hey, my name is blank. I have a real estate matter I need to discuss with you. Please contact me at XYZ. Make your tone of voice very monotone. Not saying you make your voice very dead serious. Oh, I know you need to call me, nor did you want to make it super friendly. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel, Realty Executive. None of that, right? You want to make your tone as though you have a serious real estate matter that you'd like to discuss with them. And, would you call me? Now, I tend to say, I don't tend to say please, right? I mean, I say, would you call me at X, my phone. So mine typically says, hi, this is Carl Krenzel. I have a real estate matter I need to discuss with you. Call me at 520-403-6227. And that's, boom, the way it's left, right? So and I make sure it's clear. So you know how people have those voicemails that can, the AI can read and transcribe it for the person so they don't have to listen to your voice, right? They can just look at it. So make it very clear so the AI can translate it, right? Many times if they listen to it, they can intone that it's obviously a serious issue. It's not that it's a life or death issue, but it's something that's not frivolous. I guess that's maybe the word I'm looking for. You want to ensure that people don't think that you're being frivolous with their time, because there's nothing people hate more than wasting their time. I mean, good Lord, we all know that we don't have a lot of it. So if you're going to leave a message, and let's say, for example, you're using the storm dialer with the Red X, then you just press a button. You got a couple different choices that voices you could leave, or I'm sorry, voicemails you could. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Very good.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I was actually looking for the owner of a property over there on Fort Lowell. Is that your property, sir?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong number. I apologize. Since I got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay, no problem. No problem, brother. You have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see, wrong number. Yeah, that's not surprising. I'm getting, I think, on the number 3 on on phone numbers for this one. I'm almost out of phone numbers trying to get a hold of this fellow on Fort Lowell. I think the number this number here that's dialing is the last number I've got for him. No, it's gone on to the next one. So, but yeah, if you're going to leave a voicemail, right? I think that's probably the smartest way to do it. I think that's the one that's going to get you the most likelihood of getting a call back. When you do get a call back and they're going to call you back or text you, they're going to say, well, gosh, what's this real estate matter? Oh, gosh, now you can say whatever. So, for example, if you were calling expireds that day or canceleds or for rents or whatnot, you could just do a simple text, say, be honest. Gosh, I was, or talking, tell them, hey, I was talking to a lot of people today. I'm not sure which property I was talking about, but essentially, I was looking for properties that were, open for sale. Do you have a property that you're open to selling? Do you know anybody who's looking to get cash for a property? I mean, because just cut away. My feeling, cut away with all certainly mention that you're an agent. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't mention that. But I do think that you cut away from all this nonsense about, getting into this agent mentality, because I think many times that's what causes people to hang up on you. If you
have reached the voicemail box of 623606.
If you get just to the matter, the crux of it, right? If you get to cut to the chase, right? If you say, well, look, do you want cash for a house? Do you have a house that you want to sell for cash? Do you have a problem? Nasser Al-Arabi, he's a guy that I like to follow on Facebook. He's a shout out to him. He's a great guy up in Charlotte, North Carolina, great investor. Love him half to death. He has a saying that I love. And he says, I look around for sellers with headaches because I got a pocket full of Advil. And I love that saying because that's the truth when you're in real estate. And it does not matter if you're a real estate investor who is unlicensed or licensed. You're looking for people who have headaches with real estate. And what can you do to solve their problem? And that's why, again, I like the Rex, this system, because we're able to call so many people, leave voicemails. If you're trying to get in on a dialer like this, you would definitely want to call my folks over there. They will definitely hook you up. I would recommend you use the link that you find here in YouTube or right there on the podcast at the Red Pill Investor, either or. I would recommend you use that. You can save $149 on the setup fee, and that will certainly benefit you. It'll benefit me in the sense that I'm an affiliate there. It'll help me pay for the podcast here as well as the system that I'm using, and it'll help them, of course, get better data for you. It's, as some would say, a 360 win. It's a win for everybody, and I think that's a good thing. So let's go ahead and jump into today's news. Let's see. So many good ones to start with. I just don't know. Real estate startup Zero Down will help you buy a house in San Francisco with no down payment. Selling your home to an iBuyer could cost you thousands. Real estate sector at the tipping point, or meet the tech-savvy upstarts who think they can finally give realtors a run for their money. I'm tossed. I just don't know which to go with. Okay, let's start with the one that interests me the most. I'm going to start with the iBuyer one. I hope that's okay with you. So it says, excuse me. This is an article from Andrea Require, I believe her name is. Andrea Require. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, so I apologize if I butchered her name. She's writing for Market Watch. The title of the article is, and if you want to head over to Market Watch and check the article out, it was just published yesterday. It says, selling your home to an iBuyer could cost you thousands, and here's why. Now, I would recommend that you go over and take a look at this article and read it for yourself. I'm not going to go through the entire article, but I will hit the high points of what I think you need to know, because some of the data and some of the points that she brings out are things that I think you could use in your real estate business. If you're a realtor who invests, if you're a investor, if you're a real estate investor, no matter what sort, even if you're just a homeowner who happened to fall into this podcast or happened to fall into this video and you're just curious, this is an interesting thing I think you need to know. And if you're a realtor who just lists property, this is something you definitely need to know. So let's talk, and especially if you're an investor. So let's talk about this real quick. Pardon me while I had to take a drink of water. I apologize. So let's see. iBuyers essentially is the term we're talking about, right? iBuyers, quote, the new real estate companies that buy homes directly from customers have grabbed media attention. They've grabbed investor dollars and consumer acceptance. Their approach offers a seemingly modern solution to the often laborious and invasive process of selling a home. I think that's probably accurate, right? Everything comes at a cost. Isn't that true? I mean, you want convenience, it always comes at a cost. The article continues. It says that this convenience comes at a cost. A Market Watch investigation of multiple transactions involving iBuyers shows that their offers would net their customers on average 11% less than owners who choose to sell their homes on the open market when fees and other costs are considered, translating to tens of thousands of dollars lost. Huh. You know, a lot of times people tend to think, gosh, I'm getting, and maybe you've come across this. I know I have. Mr. Homeowner tells you, well, gosh, I got this offer from OfferPad. I got this offer from Open Door, and it's pretty close to what I wanted, minus commission. So I'm acceptable. I'm okay with that. Maybe you've had that happen. The article continues. It says, the findings also revealed something considerably more uncertainty around the transactions, the scope of the inspections, for instance, than the iBuyer model purports to offer consumers who are looking for ease. See, what they're saying is, look, not only are you losing money on the transaction, which on average works out to be about 11% less than you might get on the open market, but additionally, there's a stress that's involved with the inspections. Okay. It says this data comes from a series of inquiries involving a real estate startup called Knock. As MarketWatch has previously reported, Knock is often lumped into the category of iBuyers, but its model is quite different from theirs. Knock advances homeowners cash to buy their next home, and once the customers are settled, sells the previous home. Customers pay a fee for the overlap period. Okay, so let's think this through. This is what's going on in an area where Knock is, right? So a client says, I've got a house to sell. I'm living in it, but I'm having a little trouble finding what I like, and market's very hot, and so I can't get what I want and buy it on a contingency. So Knock says, okay, well, we'll tell you what. Let's do this. We'll give you the money to buy what you want, and once you've done that, well, then we'll turn around, we'll sell your property. And in the meantime, between time, there's a little bit of a fee for the time it takes. And there are people who are in this world who are willing to do that. Okay, it's capitalism, I get it. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, apparently we've called through all the expireds and all the canceleds. Pressed end on that one as opposed to the wrong button, so I have to dial back in on that one. No problem. Let's go ahead and go back to the list view. We've called all the expireds. So let's call the foreclosures here. Let's see here. Dial. Okay. We have 132 phone numbers to call. There are 60 people that are on this list of people that we were trying to call, but we have 132 something phone numbers or whatnot. So as you can see, that's at least 3, close to 4 each for each person, and many of those numbers may not be any good. And so that's why you'll see that many numbers and that few of people. So we'll see what kind of quality we have here. And these are pre-foreclosures that we're about to call. Here in Arizona, we have what is called a non-judicial foreclosure state. So essentially, what happens then is if you get foreclosed on, then if you fail to make your payments, then what'll happen is they will go ahead after 90 days of not making your payments. The owner can go down to the courthouse and file for non-judicial foreclosure on you. You'll get noticed, and then if you don't make it right, then within 90 days they'll take the property back, and boom shakalaka. That's all it takes. It doesn't take very long to get the property back if you're in default of your they don't even have to wait 90 days. To be quite honest with you, in Arizona, they can begin the non-judicial foreclosure proceedings on day one, honestly, of you not making your payments. So if you're supposed to make your payments and you had a grace period and you failed to make your payments, then they can go ahead and file right away. So there's no joking around when it comes to non-judicial foreclosure. And the people that we're calling now, most of these people are people that have been they're not personally foreclosed by another person. It's more often than not a bank. And so they've been many times given the notice that they're going to be going into foreclosure in the next 90 days. And if they don't resolve this, then they're going to lose their home, and then they're going to have a whole new set of problems. So let's go ahead and press start and get going. All right, so we were talking here about this issue about OfferPad, Open Door, and why selling your home to an iBuyer can pose a little bit of a problem for you. Just turn that down just a smidge. Got a lot of static kind of going in the background there, and I don't want that to screw up the recording for you. So it says, yes, regarding knock. Here we are.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
All right. What?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I'm sorry. I was actually looking for the owners of a property over there on New Reflection. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. My name again is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was calling to see if you folks had ever considered selling that property.
No,
Have
we're
you?
not selling it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a beautiful property there. About how long have you lived there? Hello? Sounds like we got hung up on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, looks like we got hung up on. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's just go ahead and take care of that. Press this button. There we go. Let's see here. Hang on just a second, folks. Trying to get to the phone number here. There we go. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right, perfect. All right. Sorry about that. Took me a little bit longer to get that sort of worked out. I'm not sure why it took a minute to get that worked out, but for whatever reason it did. So here we are. So anyway, talking back to knock, it says knock is often lumped into the category of these iBuyers, but it is quite different. As we mentioned, they go ahead and pay a fee for that overlap, and they front them the money to buy the property. It says apparently in many cases, knock solicits bids from such pure play iBuyers such as OfferPad and Open Door when it's ready to sell its customer's home. In most cases, however, knock determines it's preferable that its agents list the property in the open market rather than accept the iBuyer's offer. So here's something to
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I was actually calling for the owner of a property over there on 9 Iron. Is that your property, sir?
What are you calling in regards to?
Yeah, no problem. I might, like I said, I'm just kind of calling in the dark. My name's Carl. I'm a broker here in town. I buy a lot of property, and I was just kind of calling through the neighborhood here to see if maybe you or anybody you knew in that area was considering selling their property. Have you?
No, I don't think anyone's selling right now.
I hear that. I've been hearing that all day. I've been calling your neighbors all day long, and they're all saying the same thing, like they want to die there.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, how long have you guys lived there?
I'm sorry, I have to go right now.
No problem. Hey, real quick, if I was to give you cash, how much cash would it take in order for me to buy that house?
I'm not the owner. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you're not? Oh, okay, no problem. All right, so what we're gonna do is mark him down as a no answer, right? Because he doesn't count. If he's not the owner, then that's not who.
This number is parked at Number Barn. Park your unused phone numbers for just $2 a month at numberbarn.com.
I don't think so. Well, now numberbarn.com got a free commercial. Good for them. Let's see. Let's see. Where's wrong number? All right. And delete that and do not count that. Okay. Move on. There we go. So think this through. So, in these places where knock is in business, right? Knock comes along, offers this service to a homeowner, and the homeowner says, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure. We'll take you up on that." They agreed that they'll take the money, buy the property that they want to buy, turn around and list the property with Knock. That's what they're saying they will do, that they agree to list their property with Knock. Now, Knock turns around and says, "Hey," and they call Open Door and Offer Pad and say, "Hey, how much do you think you'd give us for this house?" And obviously, Offer Pad, Open Door, they come through, they say what they're willing to give. And then more often than not, Knock says, "Nah, it's okay. We think we can do better with our agents." And they put the home on the open market rather than accepting the iBuyer's offer. So what does this mean for you and me? What does that mean? Well, what that means is that in this particular circumstance, you got two companies that's got kind of as Andrea, the author, puts it rightly, it means that a set of customer experiences are a natural experiment. Get this, a natural experiment, really, between two companies, right? A sort of Darwin's Galapagos for any industry observer like myself and you, curious about how iBuyer offers stack up to actual sales prices. See, when you think about this, you've got a company that is in the purpose of buying properties. I should say, buying properties, with other people, being able to help them buy a property and getting them into it, and then turning around and listing their property and trying to sell it for a profit. They take an offer from OfferPad or Open Door, use that, I imagine, as some sort of idea of what things should sell for, perhaps, get an idea of maybe they can do something quickly. If it doesn't work, okay, they list. Is that really any different than what you as an investing realtor is trying to do? I mean, it's true, you can't go out there and buy a person a property and then on the promise that they'll list their home with you. But you could educate yourself. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. You know what? I think I got the wrong number. I was looking for Frank. Is Frank around?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Have a great day.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. So this one, let's see. Delete that and do not count it. Yeah. So I'm trying to turn this thing off here. I'm not sure why that making that noise. I have my phone on do not disturb too. There we go. So that person right there, I went ahead and
your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 52.
right, so let me I'm trying to delete that lead right there. That one's out in an area that I don't really service, and so is this one. And so I didn't take an opportunity to clean this particular pre-foreclosure list out before I called them. And so right now, unfortunately, I'm calling through an area that is south of town, about probably 45 minutes from where I am. I am in Tucson, and I'm in the northern part of Tucson. And the people here that I was just calling a minute ago were all in Sarita. Now, Sarita is a beautiful little town. I mean, I love it. I mean, I like going out there. There's a little place I like to go take my Jeep and go coyote hunting and all that sort of thing. I like doing that out by Sarita, but it is quite a distant place for me. It's not exactly around the corner for me. And I've sort of made a decision in my career, and maybe you need to make decisions. Hello? 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 Okay. Maybe you need to make decisions, I don't know, about your business and what you're willing to call or where you're willing to go. Many times you can find that if you limit yourself in, let's say, your distance, then many times you can get a lot more accomplished in terms of your time. Ultimately, I think what this boils down to is how you value your time. When I was younger, I didn't value my time as much. And so I would do many things that ordinarily I wouldn't do these days. But nowadays, I think that, for myself, at least from my perspective, sometimes in order for me to drive 45 minutes to go do something or an hour or two to go do something, it needs to be worth the time. And sometimes it's not always going to work out that way as much as we'd like it to. Speaking of which, this time issue, Knock decides that they're going to go ahead and list the property. And so what they did is says MarketWatch, using a combination of public record searches, conversations with Knock customers, and data collected from the company itself, MarketWatch was able to create a data set of 26 sales. Most took place in or around Atlanta, the city where Knock started and where it opened door.
Hi, Bird.
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Hello, good in yourself, sir?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I think I have the wrong number, though. I was looking for the owners of a home on 30th Street. Is that your home?
On 30th Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, I forgot. Is it,
90,
do you know what the number is?
Yeah, 9334.
9334. Is it that 243?
It's
first three numbers?
No, it's 9334 East 30th Street.
Oh, no.
Okay, no problem. Well, listen, since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
To be honest, my manager maybe, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, is your manager around?
No, not at the moment.
Well, if you want, I'll tell you what.
Best time if you call like around 2.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want, I'll give you my number. Just give it to your manager, and if they have any interest, have them give me a call. How's that?
Oh, okay, yeah, even better.
Yeah, you got a pen?
Let me get your number.
Sure.
Okay, and then I got the pen. Perfect. All right, sir. And what's your name again?
My name is Carl, Karl.
Okay.
I am a broker who buys property here in town. And my phone number is local 520-403.
403
6227.
6227.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Carl, and I will let her know.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So that was a wrong number, but that's okay. That's just fine. All right, good deal. All right, so move on. So Knock is in Atlanta, where it, Open Door, and OfferPad have a strong presence. Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry. Who's this?
Oh, I apologize. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good. How may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure if I have the right place, so I owe you an apology. Are you the lady who owns that home over there on 30th Street?
No, I think you've got the wrong number.
I thought so. Okay, I'm so sorry.
This is a work number.
I apologize. All right, no worries. Well, listen, I hope you have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so a quick tip for you there. When you're a man and you're talking to another man, right? I know many of you younger men might not have had the experience of had maybe an older uncle, somebody who was a little stronger with you, give you some direction in life. Maybe you younger men haven't had that in your life. Let me be a little older uncle for you on this one, right? If you're a man talking to another man, right, it might be a good idea to match the tonality of the other guy you're dealing with, right? Match if he's got a lower, lower voice, then don't be talking like this. Hey, how you doing? Don't be talking like that. I mean, talk like a guy, right? If you're a guy with a lower voice like I got, and whenever people hear my voice, I mean, they're not so sure about it, right? So if you're talking to a woman and you have a voice like I do, then you want to soften your voice. You want to soften your words, maybe soften the tonality of your voice. Because remember, so much of your over the phone prospecting is the way that you talk to people. It's not so much the words. You could certainly go to the red. Hello?
Yes, hi, and happy holidays. I'm sorry I can't answer this call personally. I will be traveling on business through Tuesday.
So it's not so much the words. I mean, although you could go to the redpillinvestor.com and get the script book there, and they would have tons of scripts and things you could say and lots of explanations why. But more importantly than the words is how you say things, because how you say things really
Please leave your message for 5.
really affects the person's ability to hear what you say, interpret what it means, understand what it means to them, and then formulate a response. And all of that has to happen in just a very brief period of time. And we live in an Instagram culture. I mean, it's very difficult when you think about it for you to even sit here and listen to this podcast. Oh, everything in the world's going on around you. I mean, maybe you're in your car, there's other things going on. The air conditioning's blowing in your face and it's hotter than the devil outside. There's a lot of things going on, and your customers are the same way. And so anything you can do to help minimize the intrusion, minimize the offense, because think about it, a phone call is offensive. I don't like getting phone calls any more than you do. And I get it, but they are a necessary evil, because if I don't make this phone call, then they might get hooked up with somebody who's, not as good as me, and somebody who's going to treat them poorly, somebody who's going to not protect their interests, somebody who's not going to look out for making sure that they get what they want. I mean, even if you're a wholesaler, some people tend to think that a wholesaler, an investor, or a assignment guy like that's like a vulture picking over bones, but that's, I think, an inaccurate way to look at it. Of course, there are people who are like that, but if that's the way you view your business, then that's a poor way to look at life, I think. It all begins with how you look at life and what you feel you're bringing to the equation. I mean, I think as a realtor investor, you need to bring.
Please leave your message for 5.
You need to bring value to the equation. One of the things you bring value to is your analysis of the market, how you can help them make more money, or how you can help them eliminate problems. One of the things you can help them eliminate is things like in Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and a couple in Charlotte, where this knock company is, all right, and where OfferPad and Open Door have a strong presence. You can find a way to solve these people's problems, because these people are saying, hey, look, our problem is this. We're wanting to move, okay, but we have a problem in the sense that the market is so fast that every time we try to buy a home, nobody wants to accept an offer on an offer contingent basis. Of course they don't. I get it. But you need to find, as a realtor, as a real estate professional, you need to find solutions for this other than throwing money at the problem. See, that's the problem, I think. If I was going to sound like an old FUD, right? If I was going to sound like an old dude, okay, this would be my moment. That's the problem with kids today. You want to spend money on everything. You want to throw money at every problem. And maybe that's not just a kid problem. Maybe that's not a new thing. Maybe that's just the way it's always been. But throwing money at the problem is not going to solve it. If you used your brain, you could find a way around this problem. If you're an agent and you have a customer that comes to you and says, gosh, I can't buy a property because my home is not sold, I have frozen equity, this is not a new problem. Hello. I know it sounds shocking to you, but this objection has been around for over 35, 40 years. People have always had a frozen equity problem. How do you solve that problem? Easy. List your home first. List your home now. Get it under contract now. While the market is good, get it under contract, contingent upon you finding another property and closing simultaneously. In the market that you're in, you will be able to find a property. Okay, yes, I get that there's not a lot on the MLS, or that the market's tight, or that everything is discussed, blah, 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 blah. I get all the common excuses, and they're tired. I'm tired. Maybe I'm in a bad mood. I'm 23 years in this game, and I am sick to death of hearing the tired excuses from lame agents who cannot think outside the box. You say that there's no inventory on the multiple listing. I say you're not working hard enough. Look on the canceled. Look on the expireds. Look on the for sale by owners. Look at the for rent by owners, the pre-foreclosures, all the people we're calling day in, day out. Yesterday, you heard me make appointment after appointment after appointment. I went out to all those people yesterday, and I'll tell you what, I got a contract coming back to me today. Today. Why? Not because I'm smart, not because I'm better than anybody else, but because I put the work in. Look, if you don't put the work in to better your education, to find out an answer to these problems, and all you do is throw money at these problems, and you're eventually going to lose, because somebody comes along like Knock, somebody along like Open Door and OfferPad comes along and busts your paradigm about what you thought was going to happen. Hello. Is this thing on? Are you listening to me? Yeah, that's painful to hear.
Hello, and thank you for calling.
That's painful to hear. You spent thousands and thousands of dollars on your fancy 1-800 number, or your guaranteed.
Hello, you've reached Gems Jeff Alone. Please record your message at.
The phone service on this number has been suspended. Your call is now being disconnected.
I'm sorry, there's been a temporary problem processing your request.
Hold on. Hang on. There we go. Look, I know that that's hard to hear, okay? You spent thousands of dollars on your system. You spent thousands of dollars on your domain name. You spent thousands of dollars on your 1-800 number, or your fair whatever blah, blah, blah.com thing. And now Maybe you were into a fancy franchise. You thought a nationwide franchise name would help you. So instead of investing the time and investing the money to learn the skills that would help you on the ground survive this onslaught that is to come, you spent the money on name branding and all these other things. And then somebody comes along and spends more money than you did. And they form a company called Open Door. Or offer.
Sorry, 5203707.
And now you're out of business because OfferPad and Open Door is out there doing the things that you can't do. They're massively advertising. They're going out there spreading the word, the TV and the radio and all points in between. You look up, hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the owners of a home over there on Sabino Highlands. Is that your home?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
We're in the process of moving.
Oh, you are?
Anyway.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Oh, well, my name was Carl. I was actually just calling to see if you folks had considered selling the property. I didn't know you were moving.
We already did.
Oh, you did?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Do you know anybody? She got foreclosed already. All right. Because you won't spend the time. Okay. They go out there and the next thing you know, you're looking on Instagram, you're looking on Facebook, and everywhere you turn, they got an ad. You look on YouTube, boom, they got another ad. I mean, everywhere you look, it's almost as if they're listening to you on your phone. And you get frustrated. And you think to yourself, well, what the heck am I trying to do here? All these advertising, the pay-per-click and all the stuff I'm doing, all the bandit signs I'm tossing out there, all the direct mail, everybody I'm talking to, is getting offers left and right. It's frustrating. And I understand. If you spent the time, the money, and the energy on branding, thinking that it would bring you business, let me apply some salve to your wound. There is a way for you to make it in this business, but you have to, for the love of God, you have to come to a place where you recognize that it is impossible.
Thank you for calling the locksmith. For emergency service, press 1. To schedule an appointment, press 2.
Here's another one.
Check the status
right
on
here.
existing order.
Perfect example.
3.
This is Open Door right now. Open Door Phoenix 2 LLC. People own this property right here, and their home is in foreclosure on the pre-foreclosure list. Where does it end? You have to come to that place where you conclude in your mind it is impossible for you to outspend these people. They can afford to lose money. It says that a data set of 26 sales, most took place in Atlanta, a few in Raleigh-Durham, and a couple in Charlotte. Most cases, they were able to see what everybody had offered. It's not big data, to be sure, they said, but there are clear patterns in the information recorded. Notably, not only are iBuyers offers generally lower than the ultimate sales prices, but their fees are often higher as well. NOC charges a 6% commission for selling the existing home, but fees charged by Open Door and OfferPad vary widely. Think this through. If a homeowner hired a full-service brokerage, the article says, he or she would expect to pay between X and Y%. I'm not going to throw out percentages, but I think we all know what we're talking about here. If you want to know the actual percentages that they're talking about, go online, visit their article on marketwatch.com. They tell a story of a fellow by the name of Jeremy Ano.
Hello, you've reached Nicole Walcott. I'm unable to take your call.
Not sure who that is. That's a wrong number altogether.
Message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
right, hang on here.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Wrong number. All right. Okay. All right, back on the track. So they tell the story of a fellow by the name of Jeremy Ano. Says that he used knock to sell a house in Ackworth, Georgia, and it's a place near suburban Atlanta. This last spring, said that he and his wife run a business and a homeschool near their kids. Hello,
Building Point. This is Steve.
Oh, hi, Steve. Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Man, I owe you an apology right from the get-go, my brother. I think I owe you an apology. I think I got the wrong number. Do you own a property over there on Woodland Avenue?
Yeah. No, this is a business.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's what I thought. Okay, all right, no problem. Well, listen, yeah. I appreciate you. Sorry about it. You have a great day, okay? Thanks.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Wrong number here. Okay. Says that he ran a business and homeschooled their kids and that they had outgrown the house, but they had dreaded having to clean it up and get 2 kids and 2 pets out the door every time someone wanted to tour the home. Hello. These are the problems that you're facing in your real estate game. This is Ano, who describes himself as someone who likes to do lots of research, including exploration on how much you could expect to fetch for his home based on comparables, initially reached out to his own onto Zillow, OfferPad, and Opendoor. So here's a guy, just like everybody else, wife, couple kids, couple pets, jobs. Man, they're busy. They got time to be showing the home and, coming home and taking time off of work to take the dog out, take him for a walk just so some agent could show up an hour late and not show the home, or when they do show it, pop through for 5 minutes and say, okay, great. And then they're moving on to the next one. Oh my God. How angry does a seller get when that happens? First of all, he says, they gave us lowball offers. But that still didn't solve our problem of where do we move to? We'd essentially be homeless, he says. We knew that the ultra-competitive Atlanta market, we'd run into sellers unwilling to accept an offer that was contingent on his selling his own home. He says he initially received an offer of $248,747 from OfferPad. Several weeks later, citing, quote, recent market activity, the company sent another offer unsolicited. Does this sound familiar to any of you?
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm fine, but do I know you?
No, ma'am. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I might owe you an apology. I was looking for the owner of a home on Kai Canario. Is that your home?
I don't own that home anymore.
Oh, okay. No problem. Well, God bless you. All right.
I signed a walkout paper, and the reverse mortgage took it over because I refused to put a $800 roof back on it. It was leaking so bad.
I understand.
And I'm 93 years old, and I don't think that was right. I should have got to live there regardless of anything, as long as I lived, because they told me I could, and then they lied to me.
I'm sorry to hear that happen.
If I didn't put the roof on it, and they wanted new soffits and new window frames.
Mm-hmm. And it was going to be about $8,000 worth of work, you say? $40,000 worth of a roof?
They had a person go in there and said it would take $40,000 to put the home into respective living conditions.
Oh, I see.
But I didn't see that.
I see. Okay. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
I don't understand it. But it was okay because, you know what? They paid me every month to live there.
Right.
And what they paid me for 23 years that I lived there well, more than that, close to 30.
Yes, ma'am.
But it was 23 years in mortgage. I got back every penny plus more.
Yes,
the monthly
ma'am.
payments of what I paid for.
Yes, ma'am. I think you got the better end of it. Yes, ma'am. I agree.
I did really, because of my, I was going to have to move anyway, but it's just the principle of the
Yes,
thing.
ma'am. I understand 100%. Well, listen, hopefully you're in a nice place where you are now, and I'll be praying for you, okay?
At first, there's 11 rooms in that house, and I was very, very happy there. At first, when my son showed me where he was going to put me, he's going to put me because I'm old.
Right.
Anyway, I can't live there.
I understand.
But he says, Mother, I'll paint it anything you want. I'll do anything you want with that little bitty box of a mobile home. It's only 40 foot long.
Mm-hmm.
So he did.
Well,
I said, well, I want my bedroom pink.
Oh. Well, it sounds like you got a good boy. It sounds like you raised a good boy.
He painted pink in the living room blue, and the kitchen is yellow. And it is so happy because he took the best of everything I had that this little thing would hold.
Oh.
The rest of it's in a box down there at the foot of the hill, the mountain they call it.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, it cost me $89 a month to store all that stuff, and I don't want that stuff.
Well, God bless your heart.
Social Security.
It sounds like your son is taking a real good active interest in making sure you're well. So I'm glad to hear it. Well, listen, I better get going. You take care, and you have a blessed day.
But he loves me, so I know I better be good.
Yes, ma'am, he loves you. All right, well, you have a blessed day, okay?
You too. I'm sorry I can't help you.
No problem at all. You take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I gotta tell you, a lot of people hate prospecting, and I understand. It's not for everybody. But you know what? Moments like that's kind of sweet. I like hearing stories like that where a son actually comes back and makes sure his mom's not living in a place that needs $40,000 or so worth of work, and mom has, a pretty good outlook on it, and that he was able to go ahead and help her get into a new place and painted it the colors that she wanted painted and took the best of everything. It's stories like that make me feel. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm okay.
I'm not certain if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. Are you the lady who owns the property over there on Shasta Drive?
That's not me.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. No problem. Well, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay. No problem. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. It's good to hear stories like that because it reinforces my belief in the sense that there are still good people around. It's so hard to find, and when you hear about it, it's good to hear. Let's jump back into the story with Mr. Ano. So Mr. Ano received it. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you? Brad? Hello? It's not a recording. It's a real person. Hello?
Who is this?
Yeah, no problem. I might actually have the wrong number. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was actually looking for the owners of a property over there on High Ridge. Is that your property, sir?
No. I owned High Ridge a couple years ago.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I got the wrong fella. Then I'm sorry. No problem. I was just calling to see if it was available for sale or anything like that. So, all right. Well, no worries. Well, hey, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that they'd like to sell for cash, perhaps?
We got plenty of homes. How much cash do you have?
Well, I've got, up to $1 million that I would spend, but it's I don't want to go crazy. I mean, obviously, I'm looking primarily for properties in Tucson, ideally that are single family residences that they've got problem properties. Either there's problems that need to be fixed up, or nobody wants it for some reason or another,
No,
or something like that.
Mine are all rented out, but I would gladly sell them and not pay a realtor fee.
Okay.
But I have a couple that are 250,000, 300,000.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Right now.
How much are the rents going for those?
Nothing that needs to be done. I'd do cash in a 7-day closing on one of them probably.
How much are you renting those? How much are you renting those out for?
$1,700 a month.
Excuse me, that's a good rent. Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Is Brad, right?
No, my name is Zach. I don't know where you got
Zach.
Brad from.
Yeah, I thought you said Brad. I probably got the wrong number altogether. All right. Well, interesting. Okay. Well, I'll keep your number right here handy. I'll ask around, see if I know anybody who's looking for something like that. I'm not personally myself, but maybe I'll come across somebody. If I do, I'll shoot them your way. Fair enough?
All right. Thank you.
You have a great day, brother. Take care. All right. Move on. So let's see here. Mr. Ano said that he had received an offer of $248,747 from OfferPad. Several weeks later, citing recent market activity, the company sent another offer, unsolicited, of $256,459. As we mentioned before the phone got picked up, does that sound familiar? Of course it does. That's a common trick that home investors, realtor investors, investors in general will do. Come in with a lower offer if there's, like a upside your head kind of an offer, right? Something to startle you, perhaps. And then if it's not accepted, well, within a day or two, a couple days later, send something a little bit different. Hey, we looked at the market a little bit differently. Things have closed a little bit differently, and then maybe offer you a little bit more. Says that OfferPad wanted a 7.5% commission. Now think this, if you're out here as a real estate agent, okay, I don't care what commission you charge, but if you're a real estate agent,
call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
I want you to take this into your head somewhere and store it, okay? Understand that OfferPad is charging a 7.5% commission. When they buy a property, it's less this commission. It's 7.5%. Open Door offered this guy $278,300 minus 11.5% commission. Whew. Holy cow! A knock agent listed the home. It sold for $297,000. Once Knock's 6% fee was taken out and a seller concession of $10,000 was granted during the inspection process, about $7,000 was spent out of pocket on repairs. Okay. Interesting. I want you to put this spot, what I just said, in your head and think about it. Don't forget it, but think this through in case. Hello? Yeah. See, in case something like that happens, right? So let's see here. Delete this one. Bam. All right, cool. All right, and so we're gonna do. All right, hang on just a second, guys. All right, zoom, boom. All right, I'm just deleting this lead right here because I don't really want to deal with that lead. That lead's ridiculous here. All right, good. Coming to the end, actually, here of the pre-foreclosures. We'll be done with this in just a second, and we'll switch over to another one. But keep this in the back of your mind in case this gets interrupted, where once Knox fee of 6% was taken out and a seller concession of $10,000 was granted during the inspection process and about $7,000 was spent on repairs. Okay, wow. What does that tell you as a real estate agent? What does that tell you as a real estate investor? Where can you find your value? Where's your value proposition here? If you're a small company, if you're a small agent, one agent versus a bunch of agents, like a team, if you're one investor versus a bunch of other investors, or like a home investor franchise or something like that, how do you compete when you're the small guy, when you're the David versus the Goliath? Well, you got to find out where their problems are, where their challenges are, where their weaknesses are, where they're big and move slow, you're small and move fast, right? So look at this. If OfferPad came in at this number of 248 and the property actually sold at 297, minus $17,000 worth of repairs and concessions, it actually sold at 280. That's the real value of the property when it sold, was 280. Their first offer from OfferPad was 248. A couple weeks later, the next offer they got from OfferPad was 256, plus a 7.5% commission. Then Opendoor came in with 278, 300 minus 11% commission. So they were willing to come up to almost the actual value of the property, what it turned out to be. It turned out selling at 280. They were willing to come in at 278 minus an 11.5% commission. But in reality, what happened was they sold it at 297, took the commission out, got the $10,000 in the inspection process and the $7,000 out of the pocket in repairs, and still netted them more money than OfferPad or Opendoor. So what does this mean? Well, in this Galapagos Island experiment, if you will, this means that every property, or many of these properties, these 26 properties, many of them, they've been selling for more than what Opendoor and OfferPad could give you, despite the commissions. And so when you've got somebody saying, well, Opendoor, OfferPad, I was thinking about going there and getting an offer from them. Okay, understand that there's 70, you're concerned about an X% commission that I'm charging. Well, what do you think about this? I don't know, 7.5% that OfferPad was charging and Opendoor charging 11.5%. I wasn't even talking those kind of numbers. What are we talking about here? Okay, guys, so now we're moving into for rent by owners. The next session here, these people here are people who have had their property on the market for rent. They're not intending to sell. However, it's a good idea, I think, to call these people, because you never know. Many times they might just as well be interested in selling because they're not always investors. Sometimes these people bought this property years ago, lived there, and then it didn't sell. And then ultimately what happened was they ended up having to go ahead and rent it out. And after a year or so of having it rented out, and after it didn't sell, now it's coming back times to rent it out again. But they don't want to rent it out, but they're afraid of the market. That's why we're calling them. We're calling them up to see if, hey, have you even considered selling the property? And let's go ahead and press dial and see where the money takes us. So what I'm trying to bring up when we're talking about Mr. Ano and his property in Georgia, what I guess I'm really trying to bring up to you is the David and Goliath moment for you as a realtor or as an investor is the importance that you have of negotiation, particularly if you're a realtor. You have to accept and understand the value of third-party negotiations. Third-party negotiations, it's not the MLS, it's not the information, it's not all that stuff that brings value, that an agent brings value. No. What an agent brings value to, with a for sale by owner, for a rent by owner, things of that nature, is this third-party negotiation skill. For example.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl. Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Okay, who is this?
My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm actually calling. I'm actually calling about a property that was for rent by owner over there on Rustygate a while back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that property still for rent, or is it available, or whatever happened with that?
Oh, it's for rent now.
Okay, no problem. Well, again, my name is Carl. I'm a broker. I'm a broker here in town who also buys property. Have you even considered selling that property?
No, no, not at all.
I don't blame you. It's a nice little property. And you're renting it out for $1,700, you say?
Just for the summer.
Wow. Okay. I bet in the winter that thing goes for a lot, huh?
Well, they're all about $3,200
in
the winter.
God
but
bless you.
Everything's included.
God bless you. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I know this might just be kind of a moot point, Sally, and I appreciate your, patience with me. I'm curious, at what price would you become a seller?
I wouldn't, period.
Well, I appreciate
How about $500,000?
I appreciate your honesty. God bless your heart. I appreciate your help. Hey, Sally, since I got you anyway, do you know of anybody else who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No, I don't.
No problem. Well,
no,
God,
come by down there.
No problem. Well, God bless you, and I appreciate your honesty. You have
Everybody's asking me if I want to sell it. I don't.
No problem. Well, you have a great day, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You All right.
God
Bye-bye.
bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So something like that, you gotta appreciate somebody and their honesty. $500,000, I'd never sell it. You know what? You gotta honestly admire that.
Thank you for calling Waxworks. This is Martha.
Oh, you know what? I think I have the wrong number. I apologize. I was looking for Frank. Is Frank around?
No problem.
Sorry. Have a great day. Thank you. All right. This property is in Sarita, and as a rental property, I don't even want to bother dealing with something like that. This one is too. I'm not sure how we got into the Sarita section here. Delete that. Let's see here. Let me pause this. Let's delete this one. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just very quickly going through and
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
There we go. Perfect. Good. Going through and deleting, I was just briefly deleting a couple properties that were in Sarita that I did not want to call. I want to try and stick primarily in Tucson. Tucson in the outlying area is large enough that I can service it. I don't need to go to a town south of here to get business. That's just not something that's really necessary. So back to Mr. Ano. It said that repairs and other prep work is where comparing offers gets hazy. This is where you want to think about this as an investor who invests, a realtor who invests, or a wholesaler, or just even an investor yourself, okay? Repairs and other prep work is where the comparing offers gets hazy. The Ano home was 23 years old, and it needed a fair amount of work. While iBuyer offers are often known as instant offers, they are anything but. In fact, they're always contingent upon a home inspection, which some observers believe are carried out in a way that squeezes profit from sellers. Now, where have we heard this before? Let me think. Let me see. Let me look through some books. Have I ever seen a page somewhere where it says you should put it under contract and beat them up on the inspection report? Well, I didn't write it in my book. Hello?
Please leave your message for
But
520.
what do you know? This is a common tactic that's taught throughout the industry, throughout the investing industry. You think that you're original. You think that you're the guy who's going to come up with this really slick plan. Hello?
Yeah,
Oh, hi. My name's Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thank you. I might be too late, but I was calling about a property you had for rent a while back over there on 27th. Did y'all rent that out already?
Yes, sir, we did.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I apologize. We're interrupting your day. Since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
I do not know.
No problem. All right, cool. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Yeah, that one was for rent back in May 12th. Now remember, I just got this this data updated the other day, and I got stuff from the previous 30 days. And as I mentioned yesterday, the data is only going to get better because as I go through it, I'm going to eliminate the ones that are already gone, and we'll have only the ones that are active and the ones that are really good. So as the days progress, the information and data will only get better, as well as the calls. So you'll definitely want to hit that subscribe and notify button if you haven't already. If you're listening to the podcast, definitely hit that subscribe button there on the RSS feed so you'll get updated, because I do make these podcasts every day. Problem is, it does take a little bit of time for iTunes to update it. And as you know, iTunes, from what I understand, is going away. It's going to be replaced by podcasts from iTunes and Apple. So it'll be a little bit more difficult. You may not necessarily get them every single day. That's why I would recommend you go straight to Podbean and download the app, and then go ahead and subscribe straight from there. You'll get the straight dope every single day. So as I mentioned, people tend to think that they're unique in this, that they've never that gosh, nobody's going to suspect me coming in here and making an offer and then beating them up on the inspections. I mean, nobody's going to expect. Are you kidding? Please, this is something everybody knows is going to happen. As a matter of fact, it happens so often. Knox CEO and co-founder Sean Black said, if you're comparing iBuyer's offers, it's very black and white. The front end stuff is very upfront. It's the repairs that are the gotcha. And he is absolutely right. He says, a home inspector with an incentive to, in Black's words, cover his butt, in the eyes of the iBuyer that hired him, will almost always build a lengthier list of upgrades needed for the home to sell than a real estate agent might in order to potentially reduce the final sales price. I can't even imagine where would people get the idea, oh yeah, that's right, it's all these half-wit real estate gurus teaching these nonsensical, absolutely asinine ways of making things happen. It's absolutely bizarre that we should do this. But nonetheless, it is what is done. Ano said he, quote, felt nickeled and dimed. The kinds of repairs they were hitting us with, I felt, were pretty petty. They were subtracting a large amount for petty things and had huge fees on top of that. If I'm going to sell to an iBuyer, why would I pay what amounts to a traditional realtor fee? My point exactly. You know, this is not a new story. This is something that
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Carl Krenzel. This is not a new thing. You know, Abra Summers. Let's see here. Abra Summers, another Atlanta area knock customer, came to the company after rejecting offers from iBuyers that she said were about $25,000 less than what she believed her Sugar Hill home was worth. But ultimately, she said, because the family needed to move quickly, she might have considered working with an iBuyer. Just the thought, she says, just the thought of listing our...
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I might be a day late and a little $1,800 short. I was calling about that property you had for rent on Santa Barbara.
Oh, yeah. It's still available.
Oh, it is?
You're interested?
Well, actually, yeah. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was actually just calling to see if you'd ever considered selling it. Have you?
No. Yeah, thank you. We've had a lot of calls to buy it, but we're not selling.
I bet. Yeah, that's a beautiful place. Gosh, I can't even imagine that you'd even want to sell it. I don't blame you. That's a beautiful little place like there. I'm curious, do you happen to know of any of those folks in that area who might consider an all-cash offer on an unwanted property?
No, sorry, I'm not sure about that.
No worries, no worries. I appreciate you thinking about it. I'm curious, at what price would you become a seller?
We're not interested in selling.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you being a good sport about it. I hope you have a great day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. All right. Resume. Here we go. Back to Abra, right? So the question comes up, I mean, why do people...
Well,
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
good. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. Thanks. I'm calling about a property that you might be the owner of, for rent by owner over there on Douglas Fir. Is that your property or?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Is that still available or did y'all rent that out already?
We got it already rented.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, good for you. No problem. Listen, since I got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
I don't, unfortunately. Sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. All right. Well, listen, you have a great day. Okay.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. So why do people use an iBuyer, right? She said that she needed to move quickly and might have considered working with an iBuyer. She says just the thought of listing our house the traditional way and letting people come in at all hours didn't seem practical at all. It felt like an insurmountable obstacle. We didn't know what to do. The family juggles 2 jobs, 2 kids, and 3 pets. Welcome to America. I mean, it's just difficult. It's difficult for people to list their home many times if they're living in it and move the kids and work with the dogs and all these other things. And if you're a listing agent, hello? Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good.
Oh, yes, sir. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was calling about the house you had for rent over there on Los Altos. I'm sorry, sir?
It's been rented.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. No problem. Do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool. Appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. There we go. So as a realtor, okay, think this as to how you could, how could you fit this into your business plan? How could you make this work? I mean, we're going over this article and we're seeing time after time after time where people are having a problem. They're either unable to sell their property and buy in a rapidly increasing market, or they, hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm sorry. Can you say again, please?
Yes, sir. I apologize. My name is Carl. I was calling about that property,
Yes,
the property you had for rent over there on Lester. Is that still available?
Oh, no, Carl, you know it isn't. It rented out.
Okay, no problem.
Where'd you find that? I thought they took that down. Where'd
Oh,
you find that
yeah,
on the
they
site?
probably did. I'm a broker here in town. I've just got an old copy of it from back in May 24th, and I figured it might have been an old one. I've been sick a couple weeks, and I'm just getting around to them. So, no worries. Since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
Not right offhand.
Okay.
Not right offhand, sir. I'm trying to think of.
No problem. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking a second to think about it anyway, okay?
Absolutely, sir. Well, I hope you get around a little better and have a good day.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. Okay. What are some of the things that I think you're learning from here? I think what you're starting to discover is people have problems, okay? They can't buy a property because they can't sell theirs, or when they do sell them, they're afraid they can't find another one in time. Or they have a problem because they feel that they have a life in the way.
64651.
You got life. It just gets in the way, and dogs and kids and jobs and who can take the time off to show a property. And if you're not a realtor who's out there investing in property or offering wholesaling as an opportunity for them, or just as a realtor who takes the time to learn the sales skills necessary to handle these issues, then you're allowing this to happen in your marketplace. Why? Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was looking for the owner of a home on Lee Street. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Is that property still for rent, or did you rent it already?
It's still for rent.
Okay, great. My name again is Carl. I'm a real estate broker who also buys property. Have you ever considered selling that property?
No, thank you.
Oh,
Bye.
Oh, no problem. At what price would you be coming? Seems like there was a bit of a language issue. No worries. Resume. Here we go. What are some of the things that you could learn from this? I think if you learn the skills that would enable these people to make the moves they want to make, then you could save them this 7.5% commission and 11.5% commission and getting beat up on the repair period. This is the time for realtors to get up and start making some noise, learning your skills, getting out there and protecting the public, because this is what happens when you have weak-willed realtors who will not learn skills. This is what happens. The customer pays the price. The customer is the one who gets hurt. The customer is the one who's paying 7.5% commissions and 11.5% commissions on top of an already lowball offer. And there are people out there who are doing it because of time. That's the challenging part. They think they don't have time. They think that it's too much of a hassle. Why? Because realtors...
Hi, this is Tyrus with Caption Call.
Realtors make it so. If you're a realtor, you have an obligation, in my mind, to try and make this easy for your customer. Look, let's listen to right here. Let's listen to this before I go too much. Hello. Oh, hi. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm the owner. I'm looking for the owner of a home on Holly Avenue here in Tucson. Is that your property?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I noticed it was for rent. Is it still for rent, or did y'all rent that out already?
It's available still.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, my name is Carl again. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. Have you considered selling that property at all?
Not really.
I don't blame you. It's a cute little place. How long have you owned it?
So we're not interested in selling it, but thank you.
I'm curious.
For calling.
I appreciate that. I'm curious. At what price would you become a seller?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the market actually, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, so you don't want to sell? You do want to sell? You're just kind of curious about it, or no?
No, we don't want to sell. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Do you know anybody else who might be interested in an all-cash offer?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Well, I appreciate your time, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Well, she was sweet enough. Nice, but own a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath place, not a very big place. Look, before we go on to too much further, let's check this one out. This is from Market Watch, also from Andrea Require. Says, meet the tech-savvy upstarts who think they can finally give realtors a run for their money. Listen, this goes right into the story we just talked about. It's the same kind of thing. This is the public perception of what's going on and what's going to happen with the internet and the market that's happening right now. Look, a few years ago, it says Chad Torstensen decided to sell his house. His experience, he said, was fairly typical. I like that. Fairly typical. That's my favorite. A real estate. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm well.
I'm not certain if I have the right person. I apologize. I was looking for the owner of a property that was for rent over there on Via Vias. Is that your property?
I'm the property manager.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Is there a
All
problem?
right. No, gosh, no. There's no problem at all. No, I was actually just a fellow looking to see if maybe they were interested in selling it. Do you know if they'd be interested in an offer on that property, or do you know?
As far as I know, no. I think this is his retirement plan, is to have rental properties.
God bless him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. All right, no worries. Well, listen, I'm a broker here in town. Also, do you know of anybody else who's got an unwanted property that they might consider selling for cash?
No, but
I figure a girl like you, you'd be.
Down.
Yeah, I figured you'd be in the know. I figured a girl like you, you'd know. Sure, okay.
We have 5 or 6. But,
yeah.
I guess if something comes up, I'd be willing to give you a call.
Yeah, please.
Take down your name.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I'm a broker here in town at Sotheby's International myself, but I also buy properties for like he does for retirement and whatnot. My phone number, I don't know if you've got your caller ID there, but if you don't.
Hold on. I'm getting my paper. I write things down on paper. I actually want to be able to find again. So
hallelujah. Yeah. You're just like me.
Okay, tell me your name again.
Mm-hmm. My name is Carl, Karl.
Okay.
My last name is Krenzel, Kren, as in November, Tzeel, kind of like pretzel with a K, Krenzel.
Right.
My phone number.
German word. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. My phone number is 403-6227. I'm a local broker here in town. Feel free to.
So 520.
Yes, ma'am. Feel free to have a look at me on Google or your client or anything like that. If you got anybody who's got a problem property, I'm a guy who has Advil in his pockets. I can make those problems go away.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you very much for calling.
All right, Diana. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Now, there's a great example of using a wrong number, right? And then using it to your advantage, especially if you're a real estate agent. A little bit of humor, a little bit of...
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Carl Krenzel. Use a little bit of humor, and I think what you'll find many times are people are going to be willing to listen to what you have to say. And I also think that what you'll discover is that people, you build relationships with people. This is a small town. I've been here for an awful long time, and people they're gonna remember you. And you keep talking to people over time, and it's not going to be the last time I'm going to talk to this person. You can almost be sure of it. If she has more than one property that she's renting out, then it's probably likely I'm going to catch her again. And when I do, it's going to be a good conversation if you left it on a good note. So make sure you do that. So let's talk about Chad Torstensen and what we can learn about his experience, what he called a fairly typical experience. He said a real estate agent went to his home with a contract, a photo shoot was done, a sign went up in the front yard. He says, with a press of a button, the home was online and buyers began touring my home. However, my listing agent was not giving the tours, the buyer's agents were. And after the home was sold, I realized that my agent did very little to earn his share of the commission. Well, golly gee whiz. Huh. Is that the first time you've ever heard that? I'd be surprised if that was the first time you've ever heard that. The reason why is because agents, believe it or not, many times follow this 4P method of selling property. Place it in MLS, place a sign, pray it sells, and go play golf, right? If that's all you do, well, then you know what? Dr. Thorstensen is correct. You do very little to earn your share of commission. You know, it's a hard thing for realtors to accept the fact that you are.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm calling about a property you had for rent over there on Seahorse. Is that your property, sir?
No, that's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
But it has been rented out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, cool. No problem. Hey, since I got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could just buy for cash?
I don't. No.
No problem. All right, cool. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day, okay?
All right, you too.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's see. Sold. Boom. All right. Resume. Yeah, if all you do is put it in the multiple listing service, take a couple photographs, place a sign in the yard, then yeah, I think Dr.
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who am I speaking with?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Fine.
I'm calling about a property that you might own over there on Via Velasquez as a rental. Is that still available?
Oh, it's already been rented.
Oh, okay, cool. No problem. Hey, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
No, I don't.
No problem. Well, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day, okay?
You too, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. All right. Yeah, it says that Dr. Thorstensen is an emergency room doctor, a profession where, quote, it is fair to say inefficiencies and participants who don't pull their weight aren't tolerated. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. This is Carl. How are you today?
Good.
I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was actually looking for the owner of a property that was for rent by owner over there on Pontotoc. Is that your property?
Oh, yes, it is. But you know what? I think we have a contract we're supposed to sign today.
Hallelujah. Good for you. Okay, no problem. Well, listen,
Yes.
since I got you anyway, do you happen to know anybody who has an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
I don't. I have no idea.
No worries. No worries at all. All right. Well,
Sorry about that. All
congratulations. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. Here we go. So what we're doing right now, we're calling from June 6th now. It's so these people are about a week old. So some of them already just gone boom and rented out. And we're certainly past the ones that are a little bit older. So we'll see what happens here. It says that Dr. Thorstensen, the emergency room doctor, began to think what he calls about the quote, the value of the realtor to the consumer. And he, quote, the more he researched, the more he was convinced that the professional real estate agent is redundant. Dun, dun, dun. Imagine that. A doctor, an emergency room doctor, Chad Thorstensen, having a bad real estate experience. I imagine his home was not $100,000 or something. I imagine he probably had a more expensive home. I'm just guessing here. I might be wrong, but I'm going to take a stab.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi. I couldn't hear you there. Sorry about that. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was calling about that property that was for rent by owner. Is that still available?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
The studio that we have?
Yeah, I was
I'm
actually,
sorry.
no problem. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was actually I was actually just calling about it to see if you folks had considered selling that at all. Have you?
Oh, no, not selling.
Okay, no problem.
Just for rent.
No problem. Do you know of anybody else who's got an unwanted property I could buy for cash?
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. right. Not going to really push too much on that one because that was apparently a 320 square foot, 1-bedroom place. And I have virtually no interest in that. That's a little condo type place. And that was absolutely not of any value to me. Yeah. So imagine that. I'm imagining that this doctor probably had a very nice house. And if you had somebody who just came out and put a sign in the yard, put some pictures in the MLS, it sold in a couple days, and you didn't even show it once, then yeah, he's probably going to get the impression that, yeah, you didn't.
Hello?
Hi, you know what?
Hello?
Hi, my name's Carl Krenzel. We spoke yesterday about your property on Garrigan's Gulch.
Yes,
Yes, is this a better time to talk?
yes.
Okay, no problem. I took a look at the situation there. I really don't think I'm going to be able to get that kind of money that you're wanting for that property. Realistically speaking, a single wide built in '84, the biggest problem that you're going to have with it is the magnesium and the financing. A lot of the properties that were built in the '80s, the single wides in particular, many of them had magnesium wiring and whatnot, which made them very susceptible to fire. And because of that, single wides many times is very difficult to get financing on. And so I don't know that there's much that I could really do to help you get that particular price for that property sold that way. But I wanted to give you a call back. I wanted to give you a call back so I would, because I promised you I would, and I wanted to just, give you a call back and let you know what I had found.
I think there's one place that does do loans on single wide.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's probably a couple different. I mean, there's probably more than just one.
And there's nothing wrong with the wiring. There's never been an issue with the wiring.
Okay, I'm not saying that there is an issue with the wiring. I'm just saying that the properties that are single wide manufactured homes that are built in that era, many of them do have that. And even though you may not have had that issue, many others have. And because of that, that's why many people don't want to finance on it. And because you can't finance on it, you need to find somebody who's going to pay cash. And it's true, you've got good land. You've certainly got, stalls and, horse property, and that's an advantage. It's advantageous. The difficulty then is that you have to do something with the manufactured home. The land is not worth 128. The home's not worth, I think you'd probably be hard pressed to find somebody who'd pay you cash. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody to pay you 50 for it, to be quite honest with you. So I think you'd be having a very difficult time getting that kind of money. At least that's my opinion. For whatever it's worth, there might be somebody else. Okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry. Have a great day. All right. So with her, this was a very interesting situation. She was a nice lady, don't get me wrong. But let me just figure out. I'm gonna put it this way. There we go. So I called her yesterday.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Carl Krenzel. So that lady yesterday, I had called yesterday and I had left a message. She had called me back later on in the day, and what she had wanted me to do, right, it looks like we've called all of the for rent by owners. Okay, cool. So let's move over to, let's see, have we called the foreclosures? I think we did. I think we called all the foreclosures. Yeah, we did. We called the for rent by owners. We called the expireds and cancels. We called the FSBOs yesterday. So let's call some geographics today. The geo function of the Red X. This is going to be like the version you would use for justice of just solds. It's where you can get hyper accurate about where you want to go. So let's see here. Let's go to Nittman, which is a nice little area I like to prospect too. This area is filled with homes. I think we mentioned before about this on a couple other previous podcasts in this area. When you're calling homes in a particular area, this one is a high turnover area. 9%, I believe, was the actual amount. So that's certainly a good thing. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead and start dialing in a geographic area. This is just a specific area, a specific area of town that I'm trying to get to, right? For personal investment. These are really good properties. They're older, good for fix-ups, good first-time home buyer places. You can buy them, put a little bit of work into them, and sell them to a first-time home buyer. Everybody wins. It's a great, great property. In the meantime, between time, let's get back to Dr. Thorstensen. He said he started what a company was called ShowPal, which is in Thorstensen's home city of Des Moines, just in time for the 2018 selling season. It's funded by friends and family at a time when the internet technology, quote, the sharing technology economy, penny pinching households have remade nearly every consumer experience, from trading stocks to buying plane tickets. ShowPal and a few other...
You have reached the voicemail box of...
A few other upstarts like it may be the answer to finally, quote, modernizing the buying and selling of real estate. Look, this is nothing new, okay? I've been around a while and I've seen this. It says ShowPal's model is, quote, a graduated service approach. Well, this certainly sounds like something I've never heard of. For $999, homeowners can get an appraisal and a market analysis. Really? For $1,000, you charge somebody $999 for an appraisal? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Okay, who are you? What do you want?
Well, yes, sir. My name's Carl. I was calling about a house you own over there on Rosewood.
No, I'm not interested in selling it or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, at what price would you consider becoming a seller?
What's that again?
At what
price?
Yeah, at what price would you consider it?
Oh, I don't know. I never thought about it really. I'd like to get at least 200,000.
I hear you. Yeah, it's a beautiful property over there. It's a nice area. No problem.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, listen, do you know of anybody else who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
Unwanted home.
Believe it or not, they still exist.
Yeah. All right, Carl.
All right. Well, you have a great day, okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Says that for $999, homeowners get an appraisal, on a market analysis, a photo shoot, a yard sign, a listing on Zillow and Trulia, and the services of an attorney for closing documentation. So closing services. For a few hundred more, sellers also get what might be the company's, quote, secret sauce. Get ready. We've got some secret sauce coming, everybody. I hope you're ready for this. The secret sauce. What is the secret sauce that an emergency room surgeon or doctor has to say about real estate? Dr. Thorstensen, what is the secret sauce that we need to sell real estate? Please, for the love of God, tell me, what is the secret sauce? Oh, it says it's a security service that allows interested buyers in for private showings or for open houses. Wait a minute. Hold on. Make sure I understand this right. You charge $999 for an appraisal, a market analysis, yard sign, photographs, listing on Zillow, and a closing attorney. And then you charge them a couple hundred more for secret sauce, which is a security service that allows interested buyers to get in the open house? What? That sounds like a lockbox to me. Is that secret? I didn't know. Do we have secret sauce when it comes to lockboxes? It says the ultimate package. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I've mistaken this entire thing. I think I've been learning real estate entirely wrong. It says for $19.99, the ultimate package, $1,999, gets the listing on the multiple listing service. Oh, well, there you go. This clearly is going to set back the real estate industry hundreds of years. I don't know how they're ever going to manage to get past this one. Says, it's a model whose time has come, says Ben Harris, formerly the chief economist to Vice President Joe Biden, and now a lecturer at the Kellogg School of Management, who's written quite a bit about the real estate market inefficiencies. In 2011 research paper, for example, Harris demonstrated that for anyone selling a home that had been owned for 4 years or less, the transaction costs were the biggest expense associated with home ownership. You think? Let me ask you a question. You get to be Vice President Joe Biden's chief economist advisor, and you get to come up with a research paper that says that. Let me tell you, I've got a couple first-year real estate agents that could tell you the very same thing. He says, there's really no economic justification for not allowing the a la carte menu, like the show pal model, Harris said in an interview. I think there's real potential there because technology has changed how we search for homes. It's a market defined by failure, not working the way it should, Harris said. This is why they call realtors a cartel. Hello. Hello. You smelling what I'm smelling? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? You know, the winds of change, technology, and good times cause weak people. You know, when you think about it, agents today are so weak. They allow people to have this idea that all you do is just, I don't know, put a home in the MLS and put a couple pictures and look, if you're not out there trying to actively find buyers and sellers in the market every day, explaining, analyzing, working with customers, well, then no wonder you get labeled with this cartel image. Says there is evidence that they will consciously steer clients away from a for sale by owner or even away from deals with brokers that offer lower commissions. You know, I think that's called human nature. It's not steering. If you know that a home is for sale by owner, you're going to have to be responsible for twice the amount of work. You're only getting half the amount of money and you have all the liability. And a for sale by owner, quite honestly, is going to be the guy who's going to sue you. It's not going to be the guy who's playing with the rules. It's not the guy who's going by the numbers. It's the one who's trying to be a renegade. He's the one that's going to complain to the board of realtors. Tortenson argues that the show pal model is resilient no matter what market you're in. A buyer's market, sellers need to watch every penny. Whereas if homes are flying off the market, there's no reason to pay a commission. But Blomquist thinks agents really do show their value for whichever side the transaction is under pressure, meaning that while sellers might be able to go it alone, that could soon change. You know, this is the problem when you have a market that is doing very well in many places. But the market is changing. Time is coming, and be ready for it. Because the Dr. Thorntonsons of the world with their show pal or whatever they call their new company, there's 100 of you. There's been 1 million of you. For 200 years, this business has been around third-party negotiation. That's the power of a real estate person. It's not your MLS. It's not your information of how many bedrooms or baths or your key to get into a property, because after all, he has a secret sauce that is a security service that allows interested buyers that'll apparently do the same thing your MLS key will do, I guess, right? Look, the reality is, he says, among them, as a seller, you have to be driving the process, and that's difficult. Folks that are selling their homes or have busy lives and jobs, and sometimes more than anything you do is rely on a realtor just to keep the process moving forward. That's nonsense. That's an absolute nonsensical argument. If you think that the reason why you're in this process is to help keep the transaction moving forward, I got a mistake. I got news for you. If a seller or a buyer could swallow a pill, take a magic wand and ding you and make the whole process go away, they would do it. Don't think for a moment that you have a value in this transaction because you can hold someone's hand. Look at this. Another newish player, Rex, R-E-X, offers what it calls a, quote, full-service, low-fee approach. Where have I heard this? The amount any seller pays is always 2%. The amount any seller pays is 2%, okay? And if a buyer wants to work with his or her own agent, then the professional must accept those terms. Says, as an alternative to the buyer, we never ask anyone to go without representation. They've been around since 2015. They're raising Series C round of funding. Rex also differs from ShowPal in that it, quote, Uberizes, in Rothman words, the showing process. You know, if I hear anything else getting Uberized, I'm going to lose my mind. It says showing requests go out to a pool of real estate agents who have agreed to work for a fee-for-service basis. And the first agent to respond gets to do the visit and collect the fee. Oh, yay. Gosh. And REX also avoids the MLS altogether, relying not on just listing aggregators like Zillow and Trulia, but on direct Google searches as well. Interesting. Do you see any problem with this at all? Do you see, as a real estate agent, especially a real estate agent who invests, do you see any kind of problems coming up with this? With somebody who says that they're using listing aggregators like Zillow and Trulia to get the data that they need, properties that they want to do, and they're going to avoid the MLS, and they're going to have their own salaried agents that work on a fee basis, and it's a first come, first. Do you see any kind of problem with this, or am I the only person who sees dark storm clouds on the horizon? For many industry participants, the multiple listing services are over 800 of them, all locally owned and operated, may be ripe for disruption as a role of agent. Quote, we're getting closer to a tipping point where the MLS is losing relevance, Darren Blomquist said. Interesting. Let's see what Dr. Thornston has to say. I wonder what his wealth of information would say. Oh, look, ShowPal's Thorstenson is more blunt. Imagine that. Hello?
Hi, this is Peter Johansson. Sorry, I can't take your call right now, but leave it.
Dr. Thorstenson is more blunt. While it has value to the realtor, quote, I'm not sure it has value to the consumer, he said. And he believes the consumers are driving the activity on the buyer side of the transaction by browsing sites like Zillow. Well, God bless your heart. God bless your wicked little heart. You know, Dr. Thorstons, I got to ask you, where do you think all Zillow got their information from? I'll wait. Let me think here. Where would Zillow get information about listed property with pictures, phone numbers, descriptions, addresses, bedroom, bathroom count, tax information? Where would Zillow get all this? Oh, that's right. That's right. The National Association of Realtors gave it to them. I forgot about that. Oh, God bless your heart. Victor Lund is a founding partner of WAV Group Consulting and an industry veteran. You know, thank God we got somebody who's going to stand up and say the right thing, right? He says the MLS has big advantages over consumer-based media like Zillow. Hello?
Please leave your message for...
He says Zillow and its sites like it aggregate listings from the multiple listing service. Hello? That's what we've been saying. So in hot markets, would-be buyers get an advantage by watching the multiple listing service for new listings? No, they don't. They do not get an advantage for watching the multiple listing service for new listings. If anything, they lose an advantage. They have a disadvantage. Because if you're waiting for it to hit the multiple listing service, if it was any good, it was already picked over 500 times. Trust me, if I had a listing that was a great listing in a great price and it's, I don't know, underpriced or in a great area or whatever, it's going to take a few days before it hits the MLS. I got to take some pictures. I got to get the paperwork right. I got to do all the stuff. I mean, I'm not the average agent. It's true. Some agents, they'll list it that day and then put it in the MLS the next day. I get it. But most agents who've been around a while and they're smart, it's not going to go in the MLS that minute. They're going to take some time. And when they do, they're going to tell all their friends. They're going to tell all their buyers. They're going to tell all their centers of influence, everybody they know. Man, you got to see this deal I got coming up. Whoa, you won't believe it. Holy cow, it's going to sell just like that. And they get all the hype ready. They're the best hype men, right? If you've ever been in a real estate agent office, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get that one guy who comes in, man, I got that deal. You won't believe it. You got to see this house. Oh my gosh, it's going to sell like that. And we all know who that is. Victor Lund says, only realtors and their clients get a sneak peek at tomorrow's listings. I think that's probably more accurate. If you are a realtor and you're waiting for MLS to present the deal, then you've waited too long. You've waited too long. You should be going out there and creating those deals. Just because somebody's on the multiple listing service for X dollars does not mean that's what they're going to sell for. I can't tell you how many times I've sat in an expired listings home where they've told me, gosh, Carl, we've had the home listed for X amount of dollars and we just want somebody to make an offer. Yeah, but nobody even made an offer. What if you made an offer and just made a deal happen? Could you do that? Right now, only realtors have access to the multiple listing, and many, but not all, MLSs are owned by realtor associations. What's more, the article says, many states have what's called minimum service requirements, which sound consumer friendly, but tend to preserve the monopoly of an incumbent system in the eyes of observers like Harris. As he puts it, it's an example of states allowing cartels to exist. People should definitely have the right to purchase a la carte services if they want it. You know, this is the National Association of Realtors' fault just as much as it is as the individual realtor's fault. Okay? There's plenty of blame to go around here. National Association of Realtors spends all kind of money, millions of dollars every single year promoting the concept that realtors are buyers agents and buyers agents alone. Every commercial you ever see is always about a realtor showing a property and use a realtor to buy a property and use a realtor to show and you need to be safe and use a realtor and it always talks about buying property, but it never talks about you selling property. So is it really any wonder that the consumer of the world thinks that realtors, especially listing realtors, are not worth your money? This is a common problem. And the reason why is not because they're wrong. They see an opportunity. They're making an opportunity. They're making something happen. God bless. I get it. You know.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine. Who is this?
I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm not sure if I have the right person. I was actually looking for the owners of a property on 2nd Street. Is that your property?
That's my daughter's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. Well, my name is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was actually just calling to see if they'd maybe
She's not selling.
Oh, okay. Do you know what price she would consider being a seller at? I'll take that as a no. All right. Boom. Don't get discouraged when stuff like this happens. Keep pushing. You saw yesterday, we made a bunch of appointments. A lot of those appointments were sell by owners. We got one contract in. Today, we're calling a different set of people. These people are not necessarily as motivated or the same quality, right? These people in particular, just sold types. So it's going to be kind of a hit and miss with these. But as I mentioned, when things happen, they do happen well. So let's see. Lund thinks if real estate was ready, this is the fellow who has been a real estate veteran. He says, if real estate was ready for disruption, it would have been disrupted by now. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good statement to make. He says, the only answer I have is that
has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
The only answer I have, oh my gosh, this is going to be scary. Industry veteran, Victor Lung, founding partner, WAV Group Consulting, and an industry veteran. He says, the only answer I have is that consumers trust their realtor, and everybody has a friend, a brother, and a sister who's a realtor. They don't want the headache. They want someone to take care of them. 70 to 80% of a realtor's business comes from a repeat or referral customer. That is a terrible argument to make. Terrible argument to make. If you're a realtor and you're thinking the whole reason why the real estate business is alive and well is because people want somebody to take care of them, and it's it's a feely business, and they all have friends and family members who are realtors, and 80% of your business comes from repeat or referral business. That is absolute nonsense. Dr. Tortenson, let's see what he has to say. He has, quote, little patience for these arguments. Me too. At least me and Dr. Tortenson have agreement in that. He says, in many cases, gosh, it would be just cheaper to hire a therapist. Yes, it would. Amen. It would be. We agree. Hire a therapist. But that's not why you use a realtor. You use a realtor because you want to make more money on your sale, even though there's a commission. I mean, you saw when it came to these iBuyers, they're still, even after this so-called instant cash thing, they're beating them up on the inspections. They're still charging a commission that's 7.5% to 11.5%. Of course. But if you want to make more money on your sale, then you need to have a realtor who's good at negotiation. And if you're a real estate agent watching this or listening to this on the podcast, you need to be the agent who provides this analysis, who provides the understanding of the marketplace and understands how to solve the problems that your customer has. If your customer's having problems selling their property and buying another one, you need to be the one who's providing the answer to that solution. Why not? Just an idea, just a thought. I know this is crazy. What if you did a content marketing piece, a blog post, a video, a YouTube video, I don't know, something with all the main problems you typically have? I don't know. Take a look at at Sell More Homes Now, right? I've got this whole series, the 23 biggest problems a home buyer comes across, the 23 biggest the home problem a seller comes across. I'm constantly adding problems as I hear them, because these are not problems that go away. And these are problems that your sellers are looking online for answers for. How do I sell my home and buy another? That's what they're looking up. How do I avoid having my home shown all hours of the night and day? How do I save some money? How do I make the most money? That's what they're asking. You need to address this issue. When you see problems, make content around it so you can be ahead of the curve, because everybody, while the market is good, everybody is taking a piece at you. Everybody's taking a shot at your business. Everybody's taking a chunk at what you do. If, on the other hand, you're a little bit more proactive and you create products, business, understanding, you create something that addresses a common problem your customer has, that attracts attention to you and your business, that gives you a better chance to make money in your market. Because trust me, people would rather do business with you because you're local than a person who's not local. They don't even know. It's just the God's honest truth. Support local businesses. Start with real estate startup zero down. If you're up in San Francisco, you're going to be interested to hear this one. This comes to us from Ben Lane over at Housing Wire. It says, real estate startup Zero Down will help you buy a house in San Francisco with zero down payment. Oh boy. Okay. This is a startup that started with $30 million in funding. It says it's fairly well known at this point that San Francisco is one of the country's, if not the world's. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I am on the do not call list, and I would appreciate it if you took me off immediately.
Well, that's great, but the do not call list doesn't apply to me. I was actually just calling you because I wanted to give you some money. But if you don't want my money,
No.
yeah,
Please take me off your list.
you don't want your money for your house on 4th Street?
I will report you. I have your number now.
Well, you can report me. That's okay. I was actually just wanting to buy your house on 4th. Do you want to sell it? Hello? I'll take that as a no. See, one thing you want to understand, guys, when you are calling somebody personally, okay, even if they're on the do not call list, doesn't matter so long as you're not soliciting them. And I'm not soliciting her for anything. I'm just calling her to see if she wants to sell her home. In order for her to sell her home, she has to go through a lot of other processes. She has to meet at a title company, papers have to be signed, money has to exchange hands, things like that. It's not something you can do over the phone, right? The do not call list is for people who are soliciting people. When it comes to things like phone lines, telephone long distance services, changing satellite service, things like that, those are all services that are covered under the do not call list. However, if, let's say in the case of a real estate agent, if you are a real estate agent calling for a listing, you can't call somebody who is not a previous listing of your company. That was the way I've understood the law. But again, if you're calling somebody personally to make an offer on their property, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no law saying you can't call up another person, another citizen, and make an offer on their home. I'm not calling on behalf of any company. I'm calling on my own behalf. And just so happens the law requires that I have to disclose the fact that I'm an agent. And that is a critical difference. So don't let that stuff get to you. Don't let somebody's nonsense and their understanding of the law, their misunderstanding of the law, set your heart at any kind of displeasure there. It says that new data shows that it would take as much as 40 years for a borrower to save up to 20% down payment to buy a house in San Francisco. Whew. It says even a ramshackle San Francisco shack is listed at $2.5 million. Holy cow. No matter the way you look at it, buying a house in San Francisco. Hello?
Oh.
Hey there, Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, this is Carl. How are you today?
Good. Who are you?
Yes, sir. My name is Carl. Carl Krenzel. I was calling about a house you own over there on 2nd Street.
Why would you call me?
Well, I was calling to see if maybe you've considered selling that property. Have you?
No.
I can't blame you.
We're gonna die there probably.
Well, let's hope that's a good long time away. I hope that's a long time away.
Me too.
Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you happen to know of anybody else who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No, not really.
All right, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
You bet. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's see here. Hang up.
You hung up yet?
I'm trying to right now. Sorry about that. Have a great day. There we go. All right. Let's see. Now I got somebody calling in. Let's get rid of that one. Phone's been going crazy today. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so this week, a real estate startup called Zero Down officially launched its platform in the Bay Area. Now, this is dated as of yesterday, June 11th. I printed this out yesterday. So even this week, I mean, this is brand new, hot off the press. If you are in San Francisco right now or in that area, this is a company that is going down right now. You might want to check this out. It says that the company offers prospective home buyers the option of buying a house in San Francisco with no down payment and no assumption of mortgage debt by the buyer. And the company will provide buyers with keys to their new home within 7 days. Let me think. So we get a startup that launches with $30 million. Hello?
How can I help you?
Oh, yes, ma'am. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Good. How can I help you?
I think I have the wrong number. I was looking for the owner of a home over there on Hawthorne. Have I got the right place?
No, you
Oh, okay. Sorry. Have a great day. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Bye-bye. Okay, wrong number. Delete that. All right. Resume. But it says.
Thank you for calling Dragonfly Village. If you have questions about residents
That's not
at
it.
Dragonfly Village Transitional Housing, please call Nicholas and Fitch, our property managers at
Wrong number.
520-4942.
Delete. All right.
And if you leave them.
There we go. And we'll dial the next one then. All right. Says that the buyer doesn't own the house, nor do they have a mortgage payment either. Rather, Zero Down owns the house and will continue to own the house for as much as 5 years. The customer makes lease payments to the company in exchange for purchase credits that represent a percentage of the home value. Well, gosh, if you guys have been in real estate, you know what we're talking about. What that really is, that's not a purchase, that's a lease to own. Okay? That's lease. Hello?
Please leave your message
That's
for
lease to own,
5.
right? There. So what happens, it says that, put simply, the company is offering a lease to own option to home buyers with the opportunity to save up the money for their down payment while living in the house they want, or moving out after several years and cashing in with the savings. So you're going to be able to pick a spot in San Francisco, stay there up to 5 years while they own the place. You make lease payments up to them. And if you choose not to buy it, no big deal. You can move out and save the money that you've saved up. According to the company, it typically works with home prices between $550,000 and $1.75 million. Now, I don't know what kind of property you can buy for $500,000 to $1.75 million in the San Francisco area, but I don't suspect it's very much. I mean, if they got a $30 million startup and they got up to 1.7 million, that's what, 30 houses maybe you can buy? That's not a whole lot without a whole lot. Now, the company claims that it does not require a down payment up front, but that's not entirely true. The company does charge the customer a $10,000 fee to buy a house for them. Well, there you go. There's your skin in the game. You know, after considering that the company must be fronting a purchase amount of up to $1.75 million, it is probably important that they have some financial backing. Yeah, some skin in the game. I mean, of course, if you're going to buy a property with a lease option, you're not going to be buying it on zero down. That's not even close to realistic. You do want to have some kind of money, and there's their catch. There's their gotcha. It's $10,000. So if you want to buy a property between $500,000 and $1.75 million in the greater San Francisco area, well, good luck. You can go ahead and get $10,000 together. And after 2 years of staying in that property, you receive bonus purchase credits that you used to help purchase the property. You can get a conventional loan and buy the home from them at a predetermined price that you agreed to at the time of move-in. Now, the problem, as I see it, with most lease options, including this one, is there is no guarantee of what's going to happen in the future. You know, you could very well buy that property for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 today, put your $10,000 down, keep making your lease payments over the next couple of years, and guess what? Life happens. You get married, you get divorced, you know, guess what? You've lost that money. For whatever reason, as a previous, this Dr. Thorsten and his camaraderie people had so eloquently discovered that if you bought a property and sold it in 4 years, you're going to lose money because it didn't appreciate enough. Yeah, duh. That's, hello?
Oh,
Oh, hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
oh,
My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Well, I was, yes, sir. I was calling about your house on Jefferson Avenue. I was calling to see if you'd ever considered selling it. Have you?
oh, it's not me.
Oh, I got the wrong number.
Yeah.
I apologize. No worries. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home? I'll take that as a no. All right. Man had to get back to his lunch, I guess. Let's see. Wrong number. And count that. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So, I mean, is it 4 years? Yeah, of course it's not gonna appreciate. If you're gonna get into a lease option type issue, they'll hold it up to 5 years is what they said before, you got to make some kind of decisions, and you're able to buy it after 2 years. Realistically speaking, if you were to buy a property and do a lease option, it is highly, 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 highly unlikely that is going to work out for you. That's just the statistics. They don't make these kind of offers to you for no reason. They know that $10,000 bit you're about to give them and all that money you're going to pay for the next couple of years is going to be more than enough to keep them in the good with this property and then eventually be able to sell. Because more often than not, what's going to happen, you're probably going to go ahead and cancel on your lease option. And you're going to move out and you're going to lose all your money. That's what's going to happen as a consumer. And they know this. And because they know this enables them to make these. I mean, who does this in your town with a tiny property, a manufactured home, $100,000 property. I mean, people do it left and right, lease options. Now these people are just taking it to the next level in San Francisco with $1 million properties. Same game, different price. See, it's going back to what we talked about earlier, and I hate to sound like that old nag and keep ramming on this down your throat, but you've got to get this through your head. If you think that you're going to make things a significant difference, there's always going to be somebody bigger, better, faster, more money, more ability to absorb loss. Somebody's trying to come in and take your game every single day. Every day, somebody's trying to take your game. If it's not your competitors, it's the Dr. Thorstons of the world building up companies because the market is easy. When the market is easy, everybody looks like a genius. But in the market to come, the market that's going to flip, the Dr. Thorstons of the world, the Zero Downs of the world, the iBuyers of the world, they're not going to be able to accept the amount of loss that they will take. Oh, sure, some of them are going to be still around. Don't get me wrong. Companies come and go all the time. That's just the way life works. But in the real estate market to come, those who bet on a market that is continually going up, that it's always going to be easier because the internet's made things so... Hello?
Hi, the person you're calling is using a...
The person who, they think that the market's always going to go up and that the internet's going to change everything. It's going to be a game changer, that it's going to be a paradigm shifter, that all these fancy catchphrases that everybody wants to use. I'm here to tell you, at the end of the day, customer, the client, the person right there across from you, nose to nose, navel to navel, belly button to belly button, that's the person you got to be able to talk to. And it's not going to be some nonsense faxing and emailing and all. No. At some point, you've got to meet them face to face.
Hello.
Hey, Carl Krenzel, how are you?
I'm not interested.
Well, how about some cash for that house on Jefferson? You interested in that? Hello? Right. Well, no worries. One less got me one closer to another. All right, here we go. The market, obviously, is changing. The key, look at this one. Back with this Market Watch, right? Andrea Reichweyer girl wrote another article saying real estate sector at the tipping point, prompts a stock analyst to flip his ratings. Says the power pendulum has clearly swung towards agents and away from brokerages, says a Stevens analyst. Real estate is changing, right? This is the conclusion of John Campbell, a Stevens analyst, stock analyst who spent some time searching his soul about the industry he covers. To be fair, Campbell's precise comments in a note released Monday were a bit... Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you? Hello? Hello? Sound too much like a recording there. There we go. While consumers have been ready to embrace change, he said, we do not believe that there was enough of a coordinated effort to deliver on that desire for change in the past, he acknowledged. Fast forward to today, and we see existing industry players like Zillow and Redfin with consumers at the center of their strategy, as well as a new entrants trying to finally break through. He gave Zillow, and he's the fellow who kind of discusses the stock ratings and what he feels they're worth. He gave Zillow an overweight stock rating with a higher price target of $57, up about 25% from recent levels for a couple different reasons. He's basically saying that stock, it's really a pretty good stock to have. He's saying it's in a unique position to make iBuying work, given its national reach and economies of scale.
Forwarded to an automatic.
He said this will bring profits even at lower margins. Basically, what he's saying here is they have the ability, because Zillow is so large, they have the ability to make money even on deals that don't make money. If you could put this into context, okay? Zillow has the ability to dominate services that you cannot provide. For example, they have the ability, and they're starting to get into other home leads, things like mortgage lending, title insurance, so on and so forth. That's what they're trying to get into ultimately. You can't do that. You can't provide that. Your company, if you're a realtor and you have a company that has affiliate agreement, well, maybe you can work with them on that way. But when you think about it, Zillow is trying to get into all this.
The number.
And because they're so large, this is because
the number.
Partly due to Zillow, we believe that the power pendulum is clearly swung towards agents and away from brokerages. One of the things that they had put down as a dominating factor was they felt, more importantly, we believe that iBuying opens the doors to so much more.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. Can you hear me okay? Diane?
Who are you from?
No problem. My name is Carl. I was actually calling about a property you might own over there on Rosewood.
Oh, for heaven's sake, take me off.
Oh, do you want some money? Oh, bless you, Jesus, people, I tell you. People, God love them. Says that most importantly, we believe that iBuying opens the doors to so much more for Zillow, particularly the sell side lead opportunity.
Hello, Kelly speaking.
Hey, Kelly, Carl Krenzel, how are you today?
Who is this?
My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay.
You don't know me, and I might actually have the wrong person. I apologize. I was looking for the owner of a property over there on 4th Street. Is that your home?
I do live on 4th Street.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was actually just calling to see if you'd ever considered selling that property. You might be open to a cash offer. Have you ever considered selling it?
No, we actually love our home, and we're
I
really
believe
happy
it.
to be there.
I believe it. Yeah, it's a great area. Everybody loves that neighborhood. I've been talking to all your neighborhoods all morning, and nobody wants to sell. Okay, no problem. Well, listen.
I mean, they're older established homes with people who take care of their
Oh,
homes.
yes, ma'am.
Every once in a while, there is for sale signs that go up in the neighborhood, but everybody who is in the neighborhood seems to be pretty happy, like you said, and we all like our neighbors. So
oh, yes, ma'am.
if there's any chance that we're going to be selling, I'll let you know, but at this point, we have no intention to do that.
No
so
problem at
good luck.
all. Hey, since I got you anyway, Kelly, do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home anywhere in Tucson I could buy for cash?
You seem like you're really hunting down this.
Yes, ma'am. I've been doing this for 23
know,
years. I try to match buyers and sellers together and play matchmaker. Do you know anybody else?
Yeah, not that I can think of. I mean, people are pretty happy with what they have.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate your time,
All
and I
right.
hope you have a great day, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Boom. Yeah, so that's really where the rubber meets the road. If you're a wholesaling investor or a realtor who invests, this is the end of the line. This is where Zillow makes their final call. Okay? They got the data from the National Association of Realtors so they could generate the buyer leads. With buyer leads, now you have seller leads. Because think about this. Why do you take listings? You take listings so you can control the inventory, right? If you take listings, you can control the inventory. You don't have to wander around all night long showing property. People show your properties, and then anybody who calls you about your property and has a property to sell, that is a selling opportunity for you, a sell side lead. But if you give away your sign calls, if you give away your data as the NAR did, and allowed Zillow to profit from it, now they can go ahead and generate the seller side leads. Now they got people, they know this in their sphere that they market to, that have property that needs to sell. But that's their problem. They have a problem that they need to sell, but yet, nobody knows how to really solve this enigma. Somehow this is some kind of enigma that is escaped, realtors for hundreds of years, apparently, that nobody knows how to do. This is not a new problem. So here's what happens. Zillow goes out and says, we got all these buyer leads. Well, what we'll do is we'll just start selling these leads. We'll sell the seller leads, or better yet, maybe we'll offer to buy these properties, and then maybe we'll turn around and maybe we'll offer out a knock type service. Says that he cut his rating to Realogy, an equal weight from overweight, but to have his price target from $8 from $16. He kept his equal weight rating on Remax Holdings, but cut its price target from $37 to $45. The reality is the market certainly is changing, but that does not mean that the traditional brokerage is out of the role. No, what this means is that there's going to be an infinitely larger amount of people who are willing to cut their commissions, people who are willing to do whatever it takes to get a listing, people who are willing to go onto these Uber type thing where you just lay out, say, I need a person to show a home at 123 Main Street, and everybody just jumps in and the first one to get it gets it. I mean, you're going to get more and more and more of this as a realtor as the market improves. As the market continues. The only thing that's going to change this, is the market hitting a crash. That's when people start to realize it takes a little bit more to sell a home than it used to. And that's when you need to have some actual skills in pricing property. You can't just list it on MLS and expect it to sell the next day. It doesn't happen like that in a regular market. Says that what's more, Redfin Direct, a service that enables home buyers to make offers without being represented by an agent, allows the commission savings to be passed on. Quote, a potential game changer. Look, commissions, commission rebates, all of this is nothing new. None of these objections that we've discovered today, none of these arguments that these people are talking about are new. If you've been in real estate for any period of time, you and I both know that every one of the things that these people have brought up are nothing new and can be solved if a realtor investor is willing to take the time to learn the skills that it takes to handle these objections. Well, guys, I'm completely out of news articles. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and stop for today. Let's go ahead and go back, take a quick look and see how many contacts we made. And I'm going to give you a quick heads up, let you know what happened yesterday. I did get about, I think I said 10 voicemails that came through. One of them was a great lady I met. She had a property on Tucson's central side. I had been dealing with her about a week ago. Her property, she wanted to just sell it cash, needed a lot of work. And she says, could you please come over, take a quick look at the property, and let's talk. So I went over to her property yesterday. I had it in my heart to maybe record the whole presentation, but I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to work out, so I didn't. And it really wasn't overly complicated. Basically, what it was we had taken a look at the property, needed a number of repairs. I sent her a contract late last night, so she's supposedly signing it this morning, and we will see what happens. So stay in tune for that. I'll let you know what happens. So today's the 12th. We had 229 leads that we had called. There were 346 calls made. We called 33 contacts. We actually talked to 33 people. Didn't set any appointments, but that's okay. I mean, yesterday we set 7 appointments. So let's see. We got 33 voicemails sent out. We were on the phone for 2.5 hours. If you're keeping track, as I am, through Pulse, this is one of the good things about Vortex and the Red X is it keeps track of all your numbers and it lets you know how long you've been on the phone, who you talked to, what was your most profitable source, the day. It keeps track of all of your numbers, and it's called in their Pulse function. According to their Pulse, I made 117 contacts. We've got 10 appointments. Obviously, since I didn't make any appointments today, that's lowered my conversion ratio down to 8% as opposed to 11 yesterday. But that's okay, because we'll see what happens if I get that contract in. Then that's going to change the numbers altogether. Well, listen, I appreciate you listening in. I appreciate you watching. I most of all appreciate all the sharing you guys have been doing on social media. I know that you've been sharing it on your social medias, on Facebook, on Bigger Pockets, on YouTube. I am exceedingly grateful for all the comments and the kind words that you've been giving me, the encouragement, the thumbs up, the notifications, the questions, everything that you've been doing. I'm exceedingly grateful for it. And please know that I'm praying for you every single day. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful, and I hope you have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.